The massive alien ship appeared over New York without warning. Its dark metal hull stretched for miles across the sky, blocking out the morning sun and casting an ominous shadow over the city below. The world held its breath, watching through countless screens and devices as humanity faced its first contact with an alien civilization. Admiral Jane Stone stood at the United Nations Emergency Command Center, her eyes fixed on the massive displays showing the vessel from multiple angles. Around her, military officers and government officials whispered in hushed tones, their fears evident in their tense postures. Multiple smaller craft launching from the main vessel, reported Captain Robert Black, his fingers flying over the control panel. They're heading for the UN building. Admiral Stone nodded, her gray hair neat despite the early morning call that had pulled her from sleep. Keep our defense systems ready but hidden. We don't want to show all our cards just yet. The alien ships landed in the cleared plaza outside the UN headquarters. From the largest vessel emerged a tall figure in flowing robes of deep purple and gold. He called himself Lord Grey, ambassador of the Galactic Empire, ruler of 10,000 worlds. People of Earth, his voice boomed through translators as he addressed the hastily gathered UN Security Council. We bring you a great opportunity. The Empire welcomes you to join our vast family of worlds. Admiral Stone watched from her position near the council members, noting the slight smirk on the alien diplomat's face. Something felt wrong about his overly generous offer. The Empire will provide you with advanced technology, trade routes, and protection. Lord Grey continued, all we ask is your compliance with Imperial regulations and resource-sharing agreements. Dr. Thomas White, Earth's chief science officer, quietly passed a tablet to Admiral Stone. His face was pale as she read the data his team had collected from scans of the Imperial ships. The next few days passed in a blur of activity. While Lord Grey waited in his luxury suite for Earth's answer, teams of analysts worked around the clock. They decoded transmissions, studied sensor readings, and pieced together a disturbing truth. Look at these readings, Dr. White explained during an emergency briefing. Every world that joins the Empire shows the same pattern. Their resources are systematically stripped away. Metals, minerals, water, everything of value is slowly drained. Admiral Stone studied the evidence carefully. And the populations? Reduced to working in Imperial factories and mines, Dr. White replied grimly. They become nothing more than a labor force for the Empire. The UN Security Council met in their most secure chamber, surrounded by layers of electronic protection. Admiral Stone presented the findings, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. The Empire isn't offering us membership, she explained. They're offering us slavery. They've done this to hundreds of worlds before us. They appear with their impressive ships and grand promises. Then they slowly take everything, leaving worlds stripped bare and populations in chains. General Mark Reed, commander of UN security forces, spoke up. But our scans show something else interesting. Their ships have weaknesses, gaps in their defenses that our technology can exploit. They think we're primitive, but Earth's sciences have developed in unique ways they don't expect. The debate raged for hours. Some argued for accepting the Empire's offer, hoping to find a way to resist from within. Others wanted to fight immediately. But Admiral Stone proposed a different approach. We don't accept their offer, she stated firmly. And we don't just refuse it. We ban them. We declare Earth space off-limits to their ships and their influence. We show them and the galaxy that humanity won't be bullied or tricked into submission. The vote was unanimous. Earth would take an unprecedented stand. When Lord Grey returned to the UN the next day, expecting Earth's surrender, he found Admiral Stone waiting with Earth's response. The people of Earth have made their decision, she announced, her voice carrying clearly through the Grand Chamber. We reject your offer of membership. Furthermore, by unanimous vote of Earth's nations, the Galactic Empire is hereby banned from Earth space. You have 24 hours to leave our solar system. Lord Grey's face twisted in rage and disbelief. No world had ever dared to ban the Empire. His voice shook as he spoke. You don't understand what you're doing. The Empire will not be denied. Admiral Stone met his gaze steadily. We understand perfectly. Now leave our world. Your time is running out. As the alien ships lifted off, Admiral Stone watched from the command center. She knew this was just the beginning. The Empire wouldn't accept this challenge to their long history of conquest. They would face something they'd never encountered before. A humanity united and ready to fight for its freedom. The hours after Lord Grey's departure were the longest in human history. In underground bunkers and secret facilities across the globe, Earth's defenders prepared for what would come next. Nobody believed the Empire would simply accept their ban and leave peacefully. Admiral Stone stood in the Global Command Center beneath the Rocky Mountains, watching as thousands of hidden defense satellites silently moved into position. Years of secret preparation were about to be tested. Defense grid at 80% coverage, Captain Black reported, his fingers dancing across holographic controls. Quantum shields are charged and ready. Dr. White burst into the command center, clutching a stack of data tablets. His usually neat lab coat was wrinkled, showing signs of days without rest. Admiral, you need to see this immediately. The science team had decoded more of the Empire's database, stolen during their brief visit. The images displayed on the main screen made everyone fall silent. World after world, once green and vibrant, now stripped to bare rock. Population charts showing billions reduced to mere millions. Resources drained until nothing remained. They're not just conquerors, Dr. White explained, his voice shaking. They're parasites. They move from system to system, consuming everything of value. When they're done, they leave the populations as slaves to work in their factories. General Reed stepped forward, his face grim. How many worlds? Over 3,000 documented cases in their recent history, Dr. White replied. But there's something else. Look at their military deployment patterns. The display change, showing the Empire's fleet movements. Despite their massive size, their ships followed predictable patterns. They relied on overwhelming force rather than tactical flexibility. Centuries of easy victories had made them complacent. Admiral Stone smiled for the first time in days. They've forgotten how to fight a real war. They're used to crushing primitive worlds that can't fight back. But Earth isn't primitive anymore. The UN Security Council convened via secure holographic link. Leaders from every nation watched as Admiral Stone presented their options. The Empire's ships are powerful but predictable, she explained. Their shields have blind spots. Their weapons, while devastating, are slow to target small, fast-moving objects. And most importantly, they've never encountered our quantum technology. President Wilson of the African Union spoke up. What exactly are our chances of survival? Better than they think, General Reed answered. We've been preparing for alien contact for decades. Every nation contributing their best technology in secret. Our quantum shields can stop their heaviest weapons. Our AI-driven defense systems can react faster than their targeting computers. The Chinese premier nodded slowly. And what of their numbers? Surely they can overwhelm us with sheer force. Dr. White stepped forward. Their ships are actually quite vulnerable to our new quantum disruptors. One hit can disable their main systems. They've never encountered anything like our technology because they've been forcing worlds to develop along their approved paths. Earth's isolation let us develop in unexpected ways. The debate continued for hours. Every leader knew they were making a decision that would affect not just Earth, but thousands of enslaved worlds across the galaxy. Finally, the Russian president spoke. We've spent centuries fighting among ourselves. Perhaps it's time humanity found a common enemy. I vote we stand together and fight. One by one, each nation voted. The decision was unanimous. Earth would not only maintain its ban on the Empire, but would actively resist any attempt to overcome it. Admiral Stone immediately began implementing their defense plan. Hidden factories across the planet increased production of quantum weapons. Orbital defense platforms, disguised as space debris, powered up their systems. Every military vessel on Earth was equipped with new shield technology. "They'll be back soon," Captain Black said quietly, watching the long-range sensors, "probably with their biggest fleet." Admiral Stone nodded, her expression determined. "Let them come. For the first time in their history, they'll face an enemy that's ready for them. And we're not fighting just for Earth anymore. We're fighting for every world they've enslaved." As if in response to her words, the alert system activated. Multiple Imperial ships had just appeared at the edge of the solar system. They were much larger than the diplomatic vessel, and their weapons were already charged. The real test of humanity's resolve was about to begin. The Imperial warships filled Earth's skies like angry storm clouds. 50 massive vessels, each larger than a city, took position around the planet. Their weapons glowed with deadly energy, ready to punish the world that dared to defy the Empire. Lord Grey's face appeared on every screen and device across the globe. His smile was cold and cruel. "People of Earth, you have made a grave mistake. The Empire does not accept rejection. You have 1 hour to surrender, or we will reduce your cities to ash." In the underground command center, Admiral Stone watched the enemy fleet's formation with calm eyes. "Right where we want them," she muttered. "Captain Black, are they scanning us?" "Yes, Admiral. Their sensors are active, but our quantum shielding is making them see exactly what we want them to see, a helpless planet with primitive defenses." Dr. White monitored his instruments carefully. "The fake defense grid is drawing their attention. They don't suspect our real weapons are hidden in plain sight." The Empire's ships moved closer, spreading out to target Earth's major cities. They completely ignored the seemingly harmless satellites and space debris that surrounded them. It would be their biggest mistake. 30 minutes until their deadline," General Reed reported. "All military units are in position and awaiting your command." Admiral Stone nodded. "Let's not wait for them to strike first. Captain Black, initiate Operation Thunderbolt." Across Earth's orbit, thousands of pieces of apparent space junk suddenly came to life. Small satellites transformed into weapon platforms. Chunks of debris revealed themselves as miniature attack drones. The Empire's mighty fleet found itself surrounded by a web of advanced weaponry. "What is this?" Lord Grey's voice cracked with surprise. "Impossible. Your world is primitive." Admiral Stone opened a channel to the Imperial fleet. "You made a serious error, Lord Grey. You assumed we were helpless because we refused to join you. The truth is, we refused because we're stronger than you think." The first wave of Earth's attack caught the Imperial ships completely off guard. Quantum disruptor beams sliced through their shields like they weren't even there. Swarms of AI-driven drones targeted their weapon systems with surgical precision. 3 Imperial ships disabled, Captain Black reported with growing excitement. 5 more have lost their main weapons. They're trying to regroup, but our quantum jamming is disrupting their communications. The Empire's response was predictable. They tried to overwhelm Earth's defenses with brute force. Thousands of Imperial fighters poured from their carrier ships, only to face Earth's automated defense grid. The sky lit up with explosions as human technology proved superior to Imperial might. "They're starting to realize they're in trouble," General Reed observed, watching as the Imperial fleet began to break formation. Their training never prepared them for an enemy that could fight back effectively. Lord Grey's next transmission showed him shouting at his bridge crew, "Launch the planet crackers. Reduce this rebellious world to rubble." But as the Empire's most destructive weapons powered up, they found themselves unable to penetrate Earth's quantum shields. The supposedly unstoppable planet crackers splashed harmlessly against the invisible barrier protecting Earth. "Admiral," Dr. White called out, "they're falling back." Multiple ships are reporting critical damage to their main systems. The mighty Imperial fleet, which had expected an easy victory, was in chaos. Ships collided with each other as they tried to retreat. Their fighters, cut off from their motherships by Earth's jamming technology, were easily picked off by the defense grid. Admiral Stone allowed herself a small smile. Send them a message on all frequencies. This is your final warning. Leave Earth space immediately, or we will be forced to destroy your entire fleet. Lord Grey's response was a stream of threats and curses, cut short as his flagship's main power failed under Earth's relentless assault. Enemy fleet is in full retreat, Captain Black announced triumphantly. 17 ships destroyed, 28 heavily damaged. They're running. The command center erupted in cheers as they watched the mighty Imperial Armada flee in disgrace. But Admiral Stone remained focused on her displays. This isn't over, she warned. We've wounded their pride. The Empire won't take this humiliation lightly. They'll be back, and next time they'll bring everything they have. Dr. White stepped forward. But we'll be ready for them. And now we know for certain. Our technology works against their best weapons. More than that, General Reed added, we've shown the galaxy that the Empire isn't invincible. Word of this defeat will spread. Admiral Stone nodded. The real war was just beginning, but humanity had proven something important. Earth wasn't just another primitive world for the Empire to conquer. They were a force to be reckoned with, and the galaxy would never be the same. News traveled fast across the galaxy. Even the Empire's tight control over information couldn't stop the whispers. A small, supposedly primitive world had not only defied the Empire, but had defeated one of their largest fleets. On thousands of worlds, enslaved populations began to hope. Admiral Stone sat in her office, reviewing the flood of encrypted messages arriving from across the galaxy. Each one came from a different world, asking the same question: how did Earth do it? Another transmission from the Centauri Resistance, Captain Black reported, bringing in a fresh data tablet. They're asking for help with our shield technology. And the mining colonies in the Orion sector are ready to revolt, General Reed added. They just need weapons that can work against Imperial ships. Admiral Stone studied the galactic map on her wall. Red dots showed Imperial strongholds, while blue marks indicated worlds ready to fight for freedom. The blue dots were multiplying daily. Dr. White rushed into the office, excitement clear on his face. Admiral, you need to see this. We've intercepted Imperial communications. Their entire Council of Lords is in chaos. The intercepted hologram showed a massive chamber where alien lords argued furiously. Lord Grey stood before them, trying to explain his failure at Earth. The humans have technology we've never seen. His voice cracked with fear. Their weapons cut through our best shields. Their defenses are invisible until they strike. We must gather the entire Imperial fleet. Another lord cut him off. You fool. While you waste ships trying to subdue one world, we're losing control of entire sectors. The Rigel colonies are already in open revolt. Admiral Stone watched with satisfaction. They're panicking. For the first time in centuries, they don't know what to do. A secure communication channel opened on her desk. The face that appeared belonged to a resistance leader from a mining world near the galactic core. His skin was blue, and his eyes showed years of hardship. Earth Command, we've successfully copied your quantum shield designs, he reported in a hushed voice. The Imperial overseers never saw it coming. Our whole sector is now free. Similar reports came in hourly. Earth's defense technology was spreading across the galaxy like wildfire. Worlds that had suffered under Imperial rule for generations were finally fighting back. In the main command center, Captain Black tracked the rebellion's progress. Imperial trading routes are being disrupted. Their supply lines are breaking down. They can't maintain control when they can't move their ships safely. Dr. White worked with teams around the world, packaging Earth's technology into simple kits that could be easily copied and shared. The beauty of our quantum systems is that they're actually quite simple to reproduce. The Empire never discovered them because they were too focused on brute force. The Empire's response was predictable. They tried to crush the growing rebellion with massive fleet actions, but their ships, once feared across the galaxy, were now vulnerable to Earth-designed weapons, Every battle they lost inspired more worlds to rise up. Admiral Stone received word that the Imperial Council had sentenced Lord Grey to death for his failure. But his execution came too late. The damage to the Empire's reputation was already done. They're gathering their remaining fleets for a massive strike, General Reed reported, pointing to movement on the tactical display. Over 300 capital ships heading straight for Earth. Let them come, Admiral Stone replied calmly. Every ship they send here is one less ship to control their failing empire. And this time, we're not fighting alone. The galactic map told the story. Across thousands of light years, former imperial worlds were declaring their independence. Earth's ban had evolved into something much bigger, a full-scale revolution that threatened to bring down an empire that had stood for 10,000 years. Dr. White smiled as another success report came in. You know what's remarkable? We didn't just give these worlds weapons, we gave them hope. For the first time, they believe they can be free. Admiral Stone nodded, watching as another sector of space turned from red to blue on her map. The Empire had spent centuries becoming experts at crushing primitive worlds, but they had never faced anything like humanity, a species that combined advanced technology with an unbreakable spirit of freedom. And now that spirit was spreading across the stars. The galaxy erupted in flames of revolution. 100 worlds declared their independence in a single day. Imperial garrisons found themselves surrounded by populations armed with Earth's quantum weapons. The Empire's grip on power was slipping away system by system. Admiral Stone coordinated the liberation from Earth's command center, which had become the heart of the rebellion. Holographic displays showed battles raging across thousands of light years as former slave worlds fought for their freedom. The mining colonies in Sector 7 are free, Captain Black announced. Their Imperial overseers surrendered when they saw the quantum shields go up. Not a single shot fired. Dr. White worked tirelessly with his team, teaching alien scientists how to reproduce Earth's technology. It's amazing how quickly they're learning, he told Admiral Stone. Some are even improving our designs. A massive hologram appeared in the center of the room, showing the liberation of an Imperial prison world. The slaves had overwhelmed their guards using hidden quantum disruptors, built in secret over months of preparation. 3 more sectors have fallen, General Reed reported with satisfaction. The Empire's trying to respond, but they can't be everywhere at once. Their fleets are scattered and confused. The Imperial response grew more desperate by the hour. They executed Lord Grey publicly, hoping to show their strength. Instead, the execution was interrupted by rebels who had infiltrated the Imperial capital itself. Admiral, Captain Black called out urgently. Priority message from the Orient sector. The hologram showed an alien resistance leader, his tentacles waving with excitement. Earth Command, the Imperial shipyards are ours. We've captured their main production facility intact. Their own ships will now serve freedom. Admiral Stone allowed herself a brief smile. The Empire had spent centuries building the galaxy's largest fleet, never imagining those ships might one day be turned against them. But the Empire wasn't finished. Their remaining loyal worlds gathered their forces for a massive counterattack. Thousands of ships formed into strike groups, targeting rebellious worlds for punishment. They're getting desperate, Dr. White observed, studying the tactical displays. Their attacks are becoming more violent, less controlled. They're making mistakes. He was right. Imperial fleets, once known for their precise tactics, now simply tried to crush resistance through brute force. But their obvious attacks were easy to predict and counter. A rebel fleet, led by former Imperial slaves using captured warships, engaged the Empire's forces near the galactic core. The battle lasted less than an hour. The rebels' Earth-designed weapons cut through Imperial defenses like paper. Another victory for the rebellion, General Reed announced. The Empire's lost control of the core worlds. Their supply lines are completely cut. Admiral Stone studied the reports from across the galaxy. The Empire's carefully built system of control was collapsing. Worlds that had been enemies under Imperial rule now worked together, sharing resources and technology. Incoming transmission from the Imperial capital. Captain Black reported. They're asking for terms. The command center fell silent. On the main screen, the Imperial Council appeared. Their once proud faces now showed fear and desperation. "We are prepared to discuss conditions," the head counselor said carefully. "Perhaps some arrangement can be reached." Admiral Stone's response was firm. "The only terms we'll accept are complete Imperial surrender. All enslaved worlds must be freed. All Imperial military forces must stand down." "You dare to dictate terms to the Empire?" Another counselor sputtered. "We have ruled the galaxy for 10,000 years, and now that rule is over." Admiral Stone replied calmly. "Look at your displays. Count how many worlds still support you. Your empire is already gone." The rebellion's victory swept across space like a cleansing wave. Imperial governors fled their posts as former slave worlds declared their independence. The mighty empire, which had seemed invincible just months ago, was crumbling. Dr. White brought the latest reports to Admiral Stone's desk. "It's actually happening. The empire that ruled for 10,000 years is falling, and it all started because Earth simply said no." Admiral Stone nodded, watching as another sector turned from Imperial red to Freedom's blue on her galaxy map. Earth's defiance had lit a fire that would change the galaxy forever. But the final battle was still to come, and the Empire's most dangerous weapons hadn't yet been revealed. The Imperial Council revealed their final weapon in a last desperate bid for power. From a hidden base deep in uncharted space, they launched the Planet Breaker, a vessel so massive it dwarfed even their largest warships. Its single weapon could crack a planet's core, turning living worlds into cosmic debris. Admiral Stone received the news with grim determination. "They're heading straight for Earth," she announced to the command center. "They want to make an example of us. The Planet Breaker has destroyed 3 rebel worlds already." Captain Black reported, his voice tight with concern. "Our standard quantum shields barely slowed it down." Dr. White burst into the room, his lab coat singed and his hair wild. "Admiral, we've done it. Project Starshield is ready." For months, Earth scientists had worked in secret, developing a defense against just such a weapon. They had known the Empire would eventually turn to planet-killing technology. "All ships, battle stations," Admiral Stone commanded. "Activate the new defense grid, and get me a channel to every rebel world. They need to see this." The Planet Breaker appeared at the edge of the solar system, its metal hull gleaming with malevolent purpose. Behind it came the remainder of the Imperial fleet. Over 500 ships gathered for one final attack. "Attention Earth," the Imperial head counselor's voice boomed across all frequencies. "Surrender now, or watch your world die. The Planet Breaker cannot be stopped. This is your final warning." Admiral Stone stood calm at her command post. "Dr. White, is the Star Shield ready?" "Yes, Admiral. All quantum nodes are in position. We just need them to get closer." The Planet Breaker moved into position, its massive weapon powering up. Energy readings went off the scale as it prepared to destroy Earth. "Now," Admiral Stone ordered. Thousands of quantum nodes hidden throughout the solar system activated simultaneously. They linked together, creating an entirely new type of shield, one that didn't just block energy, but redirected it. The Planet Breaker fired its world-killing beam. For a moment, the sky turned white as day. But instead of destroying Earth, the energy met the star shield and split into 1,000 smaller beams. "Quantum reflection successful," Dr. White shouted. "The shield is holding." The Planet Breaker's own energy bounced back, catching the Imperial fleet in a web of destructive force. Ships exploded as their shields failed against their own weapons' power. "Impossible," the Imperial head counselor screamed. "The Planet Breaker cannot fail." "Fire again." The massive weapon charged for a second shot. This time, Earth was ready. As the energy beam struck the star shield, the quantum nodes redirected it with precise control. The reflected energy struck the planet breaker itself. The massive ship shields failed under its own weapon's power. Secondary explosions rippled along its hull. All rebel forces, attack now, Admiral Stone commanded. From behind Earth's moon emerged the combined rebel fleet, former slave worlds united in freedom's cause. They struck the confused Imperial forces from multiple directions. The planet breaker's main reactor is going critical, Captain Black reported. They're trying to evacuate. Admiral Stone opened a channel to the Imperial fleet. Your super weapon has failed. Your fleet is trapped. Surrender now, or face total destruction. On the main screen, they watched the planet breaker tear itself apart. The mighty vessel that was supposed to ensure Imperial victory became instead a symbol of their failure. The Imperial Council's ship is transmitting, General Reed announced. They're surrendering. One by one, the Imperial ships powered down their weapons. The mighty fleet that had terrorized the galaxy for centuries now floated helpless in Earth's orbit. Dr. White checked his readings with satisfaction. The star shield worked perfectly. Not only did we stop their ultimate weapon, we turned it against them. Admiral Stone nodded, watching as rebel ships began accepting Imperial surrenders. The Empire thought they could break worlds to maintain their power. Instead, they broke themselves against humanity's determination. The planet breaker's final explosion lit up Earth's sky like a second sun. As the light faded, everyone in the command center knew they had witnessed more than just a victory in battle. They had seen the death of an empire and the birth of a free galaxy. 1 month after the planet breaker's destruction, representatives from 1,000 worlds gathered on Earth. The United Nations building had been expanded to host the first Galactic Council of Free Worlds. Species that had once been enemies under Imperial rule now sat together as equals. Admiral Stone stood at the podium, looking out at the assembled delegates. Beings of all shapes and sizes filled the chamber, from crystalline entities to gaseous life forms contained in special suits. All had come to help shape the galaxy's future. The Empire is gone, she began, her voice carrying to all through universal translators. Its fleet is disbanded. Its council members await trial for their crimes. Now we must decide what comes next. Dr. White sat with a group of scientists from various worlds, sharing knowledge that had been forbidden under Imperial rule. Every world developed different technologies in secret, he explained to Admiral Stone during a break. Together, we're making discoveries that would have taken centuries alone. Captain Black managed the security for the historic meeting. Earth's quantum shields now protected the entire solar system, modified by innovations from dozens of freed worlds. No hostile force could ever threaten this gathering. The trading ships are ready, General Reed reported. Former Imperial supply lines have been converted to free trade routes. Worlds that were stripped bare are receiving aid and resources. The first order of business was dismantling the Empire's remaining power structure. The assembled delegates voted unanimously to ban Imperial ships from all free space. Earth's original defiance became galactic law. Let the Empire's fate be a lesson, a delegate from the Orion sector declared. Never again will one power be allowed to dominate the galaxy. The former Imperial capital world was transformed into a memorial and museum. Its grand palaces, once symbols of oppression, now housed records of both Imperial atrocities and the brave resistance that finally ended them. Admiral Stone worked tirelessly with the new council, helping establish safeguards against future tyranny. Every world would maintain its independence while joining a mutual defense pact. If anyone tried to build another empire, they would face the united strength of the free worlds. Look at this, Dr. White said excitedly, showing Admiral Stone new data. Freed worlds are already exceeding their former production under the Empire. When people work for themselves instead of masters, they achieve incredible things. The changes spread across the galaxy like ripples in a cosmic pond. Former slave worlds rebuilt their civilizations. New trade routes brought prosperity to regions the Empire had kept isolated. Scientific cooperation led to breakthroughs in medicine, technology, and space travel. Another group of Imperial loyalists surrendered today, Captain Black reported. They're requesting amnesty in exchange for information about hidden Imperial weapons caches. Admiral Stone nodded. Offer them the same terms as the others. Everyone deserves a chance to be part of the new galaxy. The Galactic Council's final act was to establish its permanent headquarters. After much debate, they chose Earth as their capital, not because of its power, but because it had shown the galaxy that even the mightiest empire could be defeated by the will to be free. We still have much to do, Admiral Stone told the assembled delegates in her closing speech. Some worlds need rebuilding, others need healing. But for the first time in 10,000 years, the galaxy is truly free. And if we stay united, no force will ever take that freedom away. As the delegates departed for their home worlds, they carried with them more than just plans and treaties. They carried hope, hope born from a single world's defiance, hope that had spread across the stars and changed the galaxy forever. Dr. White joined Admiral Stone as she watched the ships depart. "You know what's remarkable," he said. "The Empire spent 10,000 years trying to force the galaxy to unite under their power. In the end, the galaxy united itself to overthrow them." Admiral Stone smiled, watching the colorful display of ships entering faster than light travel. Each flash of light represented a free world, heading home to build a better future. Earth's ban of the Empire had started as an act of defiance. It had ended by giving the galaxy a second chance. In the night sky above, stars shone brighter than ever before. Somewhere out there, the last Imperial lords sat in their cells, still unable to understand how their eternal empire had been brought down by a single world's simple word.